What's good, YouTube? It's your boy McMillian here. I'm just making this as a quick follow-up to my Shaddoll deck profile to kind of give you guys a bit more like gameplay stuff to kind of explain, a couple deck choices here and there. And namely why I choose to play the Trick Clown engine in comparison to anything else. So I'm going to show you guys a quick combo or two, give you an idea. This is pretty much the ideal turn one, with this deck. You just kind of need Trick Clown. That's mostly it. So, start out. Play your Shaddoll Fusion. Fuse your Trick Clown. Your Shaddoll. In this case, I'm using Squamata because Squamata would be the most ideal, and in most cases, he's going to be the one you're going to be sending regardless. So, you summon your Construct. Simultaneous effects go on a chain. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! 101. You have 3 effects that all went off at the same exact time. So as the turn player, you get to choose the order of which the effects happen. And in order to have this be the most beneficial, really the only things that hit this are Valor and Imperm, which if they're playing it, or they draw it, whatever, it's just life. This will dodge the vast majority of hand traps your opponent will use at you. First and most important is you need to make Trick Clown Chainlink 3. So the first thing that happens is him getting special summoned. So if they have a means to negate one of these effects, they can't because, well, the last effect they have to respond to is this. So makes it Ash proof. Yeah, they could technically Ghost Bell this, but you baited a hand trap regardless. But let's say they don't, so you special this. And then these two will go off, sending Wendy and Rest Shaddoll. Next, in a completely different chain link, since now you're in a fresh game state, Wendy will trigger to then special summon your Ariel from your deck in face down defense mode. From here, you'll turn your Shaddoll Construct and your Trick Clown into your cross sheet. Your non-once per turn Construct will trigger. You can take your fusion card, put it back to your hand. Next, from here, you can use your Rest Shaddoll to banish itself, and your Else Shaddoll Construct. Flip your Nest Shaddoll Ariel. Ariel's flip effect will trigger to special summon Construct. And then from here, simultaneous effects go on chain. I tend to just make cross sheep chainlink 2, so Construct will be chainlink 1. So you'll get a summon, and you'll send Schism. It's probably the best target. And then from here, you can overlay these guys into a 3-negate Appaloosa. And then, of course, you get your Schism to your hand. And then from here, you can set the Schism, and oh hey, you'll probably have at least 2 mystery cards, depending on what have you. A 3-negate Appaloosa. This Ariel on board to use for either your Shaddoll Schism, or if one of those cards happen to be your El Shaddoll Fusion, you could set that, and then on their turn, DD Crow them, or whatever. It just kind of depends. That's the ideal. Now, a little bit more for you. Let's just say it's a little bit later in the game, and you and your opponent have been exhausting some resources, and you have your Shaddoll core on field for, just say you recycled it with one of your constructs or something. Here's some cool things that it can do. Let's say you draw your card. Perform Age Trick Clown. Well, what do I do from here? Well, fun, cool play you can do is you can activate the core, special summon itself. It actually is an effect monster. So, a real cool thing you can do is Link Shogun into your proxy F, trigger your clown, get that, trigger your core, get a fusion spell or something from your graveyard to your hand, or what have you. And then here we have Proxy F Magician. Proxy F Magician, it basically lets you, if you can read that during your main phase, you could fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your field as fusion materials. If fusion summon monster fused to its zone, you can special summon a 1000 attack or less monster from your hand to the field. Well, that's super cool. I did that to extend to Borosword OTK in one of the games, but in this instance, from here, he can act as another polymerization to keep whatever poly you added, to then make construct, to then continue to go off from there. So that's kind of why I play that card, just as a quick and dirty. So with Dogmatica Eldlik, or pretty much Dragoon anything, likely to be the next best deck for quite a while. I think we're actually beyond next best deck thing. You're going to run into scenarios where you're going to draw hands kind of really, really awful against really, really decent boards. You're going to ask yourself, what the hell do I do? Well now, let's say if you just happen to get a Shaddoll monster, well, you're good. Why? Because Super Poly don't give no damn. Why? Well, one, it's quick play. So, draw phase, you can use it, discard whatever. For sake of convenience, I'm going to discard this card, more in a second, to fuse 2 convenient dark monsters on board. To make your Starving Venom. Yay. And from here, I probably wouldn't proc this effect for fear that they might have something in their hand to negate and banish. But also, considering your hand scenario, you could also just try it, and if they happen to have something, you're like, well, cool, I still don't care. Why? Because you can just set your Shaddoll guy, use your super polymerization, you can't respond to me and I'm not once per turn, to then get rid of their negate, or what have you, plus that, to then make your girl construct, to then, send your Wendy's, or your cores, or what have you, to then, special summon more monsters, depending on your hand makeup and what have you. Let's just say Garden, Ariel, or whatever. And then, you get your fusion or something because of your core. And then from here, you can just kind of work it out from there. I don't think summoning this exactly would be the best thing if they just randomly have an Eldlik on board, but hey, you outed most problem cards in a made-up scenario, so there you go. Alright, folks, there's some combos in the gameplay scenario. So I'm going to round this off with 1 to 2 test hands, just to give you a quick idea, or one final idea, of exactly how this deck operates. And if you want to, from there you can kind of look at the hand and assess how you would do it yourself. So okay, take your deck, shuffle, cut, ask your opponent, 3 cards, bottom of the deck. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Draw your hand. Okay. Test hand number 2. Take your hand, cut it. Top 2, bottom of the deck. Alright. 4 and 5. Huh. Well, you got a lot of options you can do here. Like, this is just going to be the game of hypotheticals. Shaddoll Fusion. And they decide they want to Ash Blossom that. Well, Gamma. Alright. So, what happens is the Gamma, or the driver, Shaddoll Fusion. Let's just say those two. For your app clone, Wendy, get you let's just say Hedgehog. Next, let's link these two into Cross Sheep. Effect of your app clone. Add your rest Shaddoll. And then proceed to send your rest Shaddoll. And you can use your rest Shaddoll, which, judging by the cards in your graveyard, depending on the scenario, you can either banish the dragon or the app clone. Flip your Hedgehog, use your Hedgehog, get your El Shaddoll Fusion, use your El Shaddoll Fusion, construct, have your construct and your Cross Sheep. I would say get her back on board. Construct, send the Squamata, have the Squamata. Send, you got a lot of options. But probably your safest bet would be to send the Schism. Because from here, you could turn all of that into app. And your construct for your Schism. And from here, you can set the Schism and set her. Because you did not normal summon that whole time. So yeah, probably not the best way to use those cards, but if you got a better way, comment down below and tell me how you would do this. There you go, folks. Some combination of combos in certain gameplay scenarios and whatnot, and a test hand to show you guys just some stuff you can do with the Shaddoll build I posted recently. If you like what you see, make sure to comment down below, like the video. If there's anything you think I did wrong, there's a comment section for a reason. And if you can think of anything cool to say, of course, spread the info. This is Pig and Meh, signing out.